Hare Krishna. Welcome to the reading once again with me. We are reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and we have completed reading preface and are currently reading introduction. So I will continue. Vishnu does not require anything in order to create. He does not require the goddess Lakshmi in order to give birth to Brahma. For Brahma is born from a lotus flower which grows from the navel of Vishnu. The goddess Lakshmi sits at the feet of Vishnu and serves him. In this material world, sex is required to produce children. But in the spiritual world, one can produce as many children as he likes without having to take help from his wife. Because we have no experience with spiritual energy, we think that Brahma's birth from the navel of Vishnu is simply a fictional story. We are not aware that spiritual energy is so powerful that it can do anything and everything. Material energy is dependent on certain laws, but spiritual energy is fully independent. Brahma is born from the navel of Garbhodakshyayi Vishnu, who is but a partial manifestation of the Mahavishnu. Countless universes reside like seeds within the skin pores of the Mahavishnu, and when he exhales, they all are manifest. In the material world, we have no experience of such a thing, but we do experience a perverted reflection in the phenomenon of perspiration. We cannot imagine, however, the duration of one breath of the Mahavishnu, for within one breath, all of the universes are created and annihilated. Lord Brahma only lives for the duration of one breath. And according to our time scale, I'm just counting the number zeros here. So I just read it as it is 4, 3, 2, followed by 7 zeros. Right? Years constitute only 12 years of Brahma, and Brahma lives 100 of his years. Yet the whole life of Brahma is contained within one breath of the Mahavishnu. Thus, it is not possible for us to imagine the breathing power of the Supreme Lord. That Mahavishnu is but a partial manifestation of Krishna. So it's 432 crore years. Right? Uh, Thus, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami discusses Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Sri Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Lord Nityananda as Balaram, the first expansion of Krishna. Advaitacharya, another principal disciple of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, is accepted as an expansion of the Mahavishnu. Thus, Advaitacharya is also the Lord, or more precisely, an expansion of the Lord. The word Advaita means non dual, and his name is such because he is non different from the Supreme Lord. He is also called Acharya, teacher, because he disseminated Krishna consciousness. This way, he is just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although Chaitanya is Sri Krishna himself, he appears as a devotee to teach people in general how to love Krishna. Similarly, Advaitacharya appeared just to distribute the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Thus, he is also the Lord incarnated as a devotee. Krishna is manifested in five different expansions, and he and all of his associates appear as devotees of the Supreme Lord in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Advaitacharya, Gadadhara, Srivasa, and others. In all cases, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the source of energy for all his devotees. Since this is the case, if we take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the successful execution of Krishna consciousness, we are sure to make progress. One devotional song by Narottam Das Thakura states, "My dear Lord Chaitanya, please have mercy upon me. There is no one who is as merciful as you. My plea is most urgent because your mission is to deliver fallen souls, and no one is more fallen than I. I beg priority." The author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, was an inhabitant of Vrindavana and a great devotee. He had been living with his family in Katwa, a small town in the district of Bardhaman in Bengal. His family also worshipped Radha Krishna, and once, when there was some misunderstanding amongst his family about devotional service, Krishnadasa Kaviraj was advised by Nityananda Prabhu in a dream to leave home and go to Vrindavana. Although he was very old, he started out that very night and went to live in Vrindavana. While he was there, he met some of the Goswamis, principal disciples of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was requested to write Chaitanya Charitamrita by the devotees of Vrindavan. Although he began this work at a very old age, by the grace of Lord Chaitanya, he finished it. Today, it remains the most authoritative book on Chaitanya's philosophy and life. When Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was living in Vrindavan, there were not very many temples. At that time, Madan Mohana, Govindaji, and Gopinath were the three principal temples. And as a resident of Vrindavana, he offered his respects to the deities in these temples and requested God's favor. My progress in spiritual life is very slow, so I am asking your help. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadasa first offers his obeisances to Madana Mohana Vigraha, the deity who can help us progress in Krishna consciousness. In the execution of Krishna consciousness, our first business is to know Krishna and our relationship with Him. To know Krishna is to know oneself, and to know oneself is to know one's relationship with Krishna. Since this relationship can be learned by worshipping Madana Mohana Vigraha, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami first establishes his relationship with him. When this is established, Krishnadas begins to worship the functional deity Govinda. Govinda resides eternally in Vrindavana. In the spiritual world of Vrindavana, the buildings are made of touchstone, the cows are known as Surabhi cows, givers of abundant milk, and the trees are known as wish fulfilling trees, for they yield whatever one desires. In Vrindavana, Krishna herds the Surabhi cows, and he is worshipped by hundreds and thousands of gopis, covered girls, who are all goddesses of fortune. When Krishna descends to the material world, this same Vrindavana descends just as an entourage accompanies an important person. Because when because when Krishna comes, his land also comes. Vrindavana is not considered to exist in the material world. Therefore, devotees take shelter of the Vrindavana in India, for it is considered to be a replica of the original Vrindavana. Although one may complain that no Kalpavriksha, wish fulfilling trees, exist there, when the Goswamis were there, the Kalpavriksha were present. It is not that one can simply go to such a tree and make demands. One must first become a devotee. The Goswamis would live under a tree for one night only, and the trees would satisfy all their desires. For the common man, this may all seem very wonderful, but as one makes progress in devotional service, all this can be realized. Vrindavana is actually experienced as it is by persons who have stopped trying to derive pleasure from material enjoyment. When will my mind become cleansed of all hankering for material enjoyment, so I will be able to see Vrindavana? One great devotee asks. The more Krishna conscious we become and the more we advance, the more everything is revealed as spiritual. Thus, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami considered Vrindavana in India to be as good as the Vrindavan in the spiritual sky. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he describes Radha Rani and Krishna as seated beneath a wish fulfilling tree in Vrindavan on a throne decorated with valuable jewels. There, Krishna's dear friends, the cowherd boys, and the gopis serve Radha and Krishna by singing, dancing, offering betel nuts and refreshments, and decorating their lordships with flowers. Even today in India, people decorate thrones and recreate this scene during the month of July. Generally, at that time, people go to Vrindavan to offer their respects to the deities there. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami maintains that the Radha and Krishna deities show us how to serve Radha and Krishna. The Madan Mohana deities simply establish that I am your eternal servant. With Govinda, however, there is actual acceptance of service, and therefore he is called the functional deity. The Gopinath deity is Krishna as master and proprietor of the gopis. He attracted all the gopis or cowherd girls by the sound of his flute, and when they came, he danced with them. These were childhood friends of Krishna and they were all married, for in India the girls are married by the age of 12. The boys, however, are not married before 18. So Krishna, who was 15 or 16 at the time, was not married. Nonetheless, he called these girls from their homes and invited them to dance with him. That dance is called the Rasa Leela dance, and it is the most elevated of all the Vrindavana pastimes. Krishna is therefore called Gopinatha because he is the beloved master of the gopis. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami petitions the blessings of Lord Gopinath. May that Gopinath, the master of the gopis, Krishna, bless you. May you become blessed by Gopinath. Just as Krishna attracted the gopis by the sweet sound of his flute, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita prays that he will also attract the reader's mind by his transcendental vibration. So, friends, this is the end of introduction. The next is a foreword, which is of 3 pages written by the publishers. So, I think we will read this in the next segment. I would like to end this reading here. Take care of yourself. Hare Krishna.